Look. TNA is not only hard to kill, get it? But they presented hard to kill. We had some debuts, some people we've never really seen in TNA, and then we also at the end had a little surprise debut coming up, right? So I tell you what, TNA hard to kill. It's got me chanting TNA, TNA, TNA. What about you, Justin? Give me some TNA chants. Come on.
Egg TNA, TNA.
You know who made it.
All right, we are back once again. It is the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, and I mean always, I'm DJ. He means always, he's Justin, an Instant Classic. And we talking about TNA Hard to Kill 2024. We did the preview. We didn't do it opposite order. We decided to do the preview before the review just for y'all. All right, just for y'all, this one time only, one night only, as TNA would say. But overall thoughts on the show. Let's get right into it. Let's not keep the people waiting. They've been waiting too long already. So let's not keep the people waiting, Justin. Overall thoughts on the show for me, I thought it was pretty darn good. I enjoyed it. I think there was matches. I think I was excited for pretty much every match, but Dirty Dango and PCO, which I'm not going to say I didn't watch, but see what had happened was it was on the screen. I started looking at my phone and then I looked up and it was over. So that's what happened. All right. That twice, 2 times, the 2 times that I watched the show. Anyway, we ain't gonna talk about that. Oh, other than that, it was pretty good. I liked it. Justin, what was your overall thoughts on the show?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good show. I also like how they like really presented the show as well. You know, like using the yellow ropes and stuff, using like red ropes. You know, also like the new stage setup. You know, kind of brings me back to old school TNA. You know, with the going out there a tunnel. I mean, it's not quite like how it used to be, but I mean, it kind of gives me that nostalgia back. And also, you know, another thing that got me thinking, you know, this can't be, you know, just calling it TNA now and expect to have like everything to be all good again. You know, they need to build off of this. And I feel like this is a good way to build off of, you know, and I feel like throughout the show, you know, no pun intended, but this was nonstop action throughout the whole night.
Total nonstop action, I would say.
Total
But
nonstop action.
but yeah, I agree. I think it was an excellent show. I truly did enjoy it. I was excited. I found myself even just watching video packages and all that too. Like I found myself just back into it again. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because the one time TNA came to my hometown and nobody comes to my hometown. Like I don't know if that's what it was. Like I don't know if it's because they came to my hometown one time and then they had to stop the match because there was blood in the match because I lived in Virginia, and in Virginia they don't let you do the blood in the matches. Look, Virginia's weird. You know, wrestling in Virginia just don't really happen that often because of this. But anyway, like it's one of those things where it's a little bit nostalgic for me. And to see TNA come back, to see the new logo, I know it's very similar to the old logo, but to kind of see it still be changed up a little bit, a couple tweaks here and there, to see all the yellow towels, not to be confused with those terrible, terrible towels. But still,
Speaking of that, they lost today. Unfortunately,
did.
I wish they would have won.
They did. You wanted to see the Steelers in the AFC Championship game? Was that
No,
one?
no.
You don't want to see the Bills.
I didn't want to see the Bills.
You don't want to see the Bills. I mean, yeah, just you know, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Because I don't know.
True.
I don't need. You know, from that perspective, I don't know if the Bills can really beat the Chiefs. So that's just me. I mean, because after the first half, they didn't even really do much. But anyway, we ain't gonna talk about that. But I will say, for me, it was a lot of nostalgia, right? It was a lot of nostalgia. It was a lot of fun. I found myself enjoying the show. I found myself wanting to watch TNA again. I found myself wanting to get myself back into it. Like I said before, I wish they were on a bigger network. I wish it was easier to find for a lot more people, because I think TNA deserves a lot of credit. TNA deserves a lot of flowers, no matter what anybody wants to say about what TNA has done. And, you know, LOL TNA, and you can bring that back too. But it's just one of those things where it's just like, you know, it was a lot of fun. They had matches that, at least for the most part, felt like they made sense. And they had a couple of those matches where it was like, okay, I want to watch this just because of the people who were in it. I think they changed a couple matches on the fly too, it felt like. Because I don't know how Jake something got into this whole thing. But anyway, he was there. You know, and I like him a lot. I still wish they would have did something with him, and, you know, somehow bringing him back together with Diener. But anywho, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Should we get into these matches?
Let's get into these matches. Let's talk about the first match that
Let's see
opened
what we
up
got.
the show. So the first,
go ahead. No, you go ahead. You take it away. I'm leaving.
So the first match that opened up the show was the women's Ultimate X match. We had Tasha Steelz going up against Alicia Edwards, Giselle Shaw, Jody Threat, Zaya Brookside, which the debut in Bride, Zaya Brookside, and Danny Luna. DJ, what's your thoughts on this match here?
I think, you know, anytime there's an Ultimate X match, you know, you gotta watch it, right? Just to see what's gonna happen, see what kind of crazy spots there are. And I think there were a couple, but I think for the most part this was good. Like, it was interesting. I was watching this show and my fiance was beside me, and she was sitting there kind of a little bit interested just because of the style of match it was. You know, it still has kind of that allure to people who aren't used to watching wrestling or don't really care too much about wrestling. It still kind of has that allure, like, what are they trying to get the X? What's going on? I got, you know, let me just look for a little bit, you know, and see what's going on. So I mean, I think, you know, it's always fun to see that this, you know, TNA's original kind of allure of trying to get people in by having these unique matches is, you know, it still works and it's still fun. But I mean, I definitely thought it was good. It was cool to see, you know, Zaya Brookside back in the ring again, because I hadn't seen her in a while. I hadn't seen her since like the Mae Young Classic forever ago. Just because I hadn't really watched NXT that much either. And I know she was on NXT for a little bit. But you know, you know, I'm not surprised Giselle Shaw won. She got the family ties at this point, but you might as well say. But you know, I'm not surprised she won, but at the same time, I kind of wish somebody else would have won. But you know.
Yeah, I thought this match was good. You know, all the women were working really good in this match. You know, Zaya Brookside, she hit a nice cross body onto a lot of the women outside the ring. You had Jody Threat. You know, she did a diving senton onto a whole bunch of people outside the ring. You had, I believe, Danny Luna. She also did a dive off the top of the trust, which that was pretty cool. So you know, you had a lot of big spots. There was one spot that in particular that I really enjoyed, which was Giselle Shaw. I think she did a spear on somebody. Maybe it was I believe it was Tasha Steelz, if I'm not mistaken. Like, Danny Luna, she dived. It reminded me of what happened at WrestleMania 17 when Jeff Hardy got speared, but instead it was like in this Ultimate X here. You had Giselle Shaw. She ran off the back of Danny Luna and like speared Tasha Steelz. I thought that was pretty cool. Thankfully, they didn't have anything going wrong with the axe in this match here, because sometimes the axe, you know, sometimes gets unhooked because with all the weight on that cable and stuff. So thank God we didn't have any problems in this match here. But yeah, I thought Giselle Shaw was the right person.
You know what? The other thing about this match is how strong anybody that comes in this match has to be to hang up there, you know, for as long as they do. Like, that's the crazy part about it. Like, just watching this match and like doing like a ropes course before or something like that. Like, it's crazy to think like how strong you got to be to hang on to that thing. Because I felt like, was it Danny Luna, I think, who fell off at one point? That just looked like she kind of like randomly just ran out of strength and fell off.
Yeah.
But like, you know, for the most part, it's always interesting to see how they just hang on to the ropes no matter what. Like, it's crazy. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's probably something they train, you know, to get strong enough to do it. But it's just interesting. Like, you know, yeah, I mean, craziness.
I mean, if they put me in this match, I go like, nah, I ain't trying to go past the
You
cable.
gonna bring out the ladder like who was it? Team 3D I think did back in the
Yeah,
day.
yeah, I'm bring out the ladder, climb the ladder. But yeah, I thought it was a good match though. Next match we had here. Okay. Oh boy, this
Oh
match
yeah,
right
match
here.
of the night.
Match of the night right here.
Match of the night.
PCO, Dirty Dango. Yeah, my thoughts on this match, like, okay, this match didn't last that long. Yeah, Alpha Bravo got involved, basically caused a disqualification. So PCO won the first match. And then Santino came out. He said, no, 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 that's not how this is going to go. So he decided to make it a 6-man tag, holla holla play it, we're going to make a tag team match. So Rhino came out, which I thought that was interesting. That Rhino, I thought maybe him and Heath could be doing something, but no, yeah. So Rhino came out to save the day of PCO. And then we had Jake something, which you brought up Jake something earlier. I wish that they would do something with Jake
They would do
something.
what now?
I said I wish they would do something. I wish they would bring like Cody Deaner and Jake something back together, like as a tag team, because I really enjoyed them. Like cousin
Well,
Jake.
I thought, and that was the thing. I thought they had ample opportunity to do it. Like they had ample opportunity to do it with the design, right? Like after they let Diener kind of semi take over the design after I think EY had got hurt. Joe Dorian got sick. I think he got sick. So it's just like it was the perfect time to like realign them together and like have them be a cool heel tag team. Because of course Jake Something has the look. I just don't like the name Jake Something.
Yeah,
And
same.
then I thought Diener, it would give Diener something to do because he was almost like the weak link almost for a little bit there. So I don't know. I wish they would have done something with it, but they didn't. So.
Yeah, same here. But yeah, I didn't really care much about these matches. I think these were both the weakest matches on this whole card here. Yes, it was just something probably thrown together at the last minute. Yeah. So, do you have any thoughts on this, DJ? About this match?
No, not really. I did see the PCO hit a moonsault because that man is insane. He hit not only backwards moonsault but a forwards moonsault onto the apron. So this man, like, I just wish I can move as well as PCO can when I get older.
Yeah, I
After
don't know.
taking
Like
all
I
these
think
bumps.
he's like in his 50s or something like that. Yeah, he's pretty old. And also Oleg Brutus, dude, he looks so jacked. Oh my god. Vladimir Kozlov, the way he looks now.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
like
that's true.
he looks like a monster, but yeah, this was the weakest stuff on this card here. Next match. We had a surprising knockouts tag team title match, which we had new knockouts tag team champions
Was
in.
it? I can't remember. Wasn't there a match scheduled though?
No, this match was they didn't have a scheduled knockouts tag
I thought they did. I could have
team title
swore they
match.
did, but
It
oh
was
wow,
surprising.
okay.
Yeah, but we had MK Ultra, which was Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly going up against the K of Rosemary and Havoc. Which I'm happy that they don't have the goofy side of Havoc anymore. I'm happy she's back in like the Undead realm. That was pretty cool. But I thought this match was cool. I had a surprising title change here. I think it made sense, to put the titles on Decay, and yeah, I think it made sense to put the titles on them. What was your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I thought it was good too. It was cool to see Rosemary back again. I hadn't seen her in a while. I've always liked Decay. I've always liked Havoc in Decay. I think Havoc, because I've seen a couple of clips of her doing the other stuff too, and it reminded me of what was it, Susie, a little bit, kind of.
Yeah.
Even though I think Susie was better at it, but it's just interesting to see like when they kind of make that turn. And I like with Havoc, I like that she, she kind of fits that darker character anyway. Like, it kind of just her whole thing. Because I remember when I first saw Havoc, I didn't know what to think of her, and then when she started working with Rosemary and being into the K and everything, I felt like she just got better and better. So Yeah, I'm glad they won the titles. I think deservedly so. Um, I think they deserved it. I think they deserved to win. Even though I mean I like Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich too. I think they had a pretty good little run too. But I don't know if you can have the women's titles without Decay because they're always around them. They always tend to be around the women's titles, especially since Havoc came around. So, well, I mean, really, Rosemary and anybody who she brings on with the Decay ends up with the titles. So, good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so the next match we had here was the X Division Championship on the line. We had Chris Sabin defending the title against Kushida and El Hijo del Vikingo. And I tell you, this is where the show really started picking up for me. Like I always love when there's an X Division match, but sometimes it's kind of hard to do a 3-way because like I don't know, maybe there was some type of like language barrier with this a little bit, like with Kushida and Vikingo. But I think they worked pretty well for the most part. You saw a pretty crazy Canadian destroyer from Chris Sabin in the match on El Hijo del Vikingo on the stage. That was pretty nuts. I liked the different submissions that they were doing this match. I thought that was pretty cool. Like when Chris Sabin had both Kushida and Vikingo in a submission, and even Kushida put on a submission on both Chris Sabin and Vikingo. That was pretty cool. Vikingo he had pretty nice 630 on the stage. That was nice. But I mean, Chris Sabin, he ended up winning by the Cradle Shock, which I was surprised that he retained. I thought, since they're in this new era of TNA, why not put the title on somebody else? But I thought the match was good. What did you think of the match?
Yeah, I agree. I thought the match was good. I felt like everybody got their shine in this match. Vikingo honestly looked better than I thought he would. Not to say I didn't think he was going to, but more so just because I didn't know what to expect from him. Right, I expected maybe some good lucha things, and that was about all I was going to get. But I mean, I thought he looked good in this match. I thought he had his shine. I thought, of course, Kushida looked good. Chris Sabin looked good. Yeah, the Canadian Destroyer on the stage was ridiculous.
I mean,
Just
even though
the
the Canadian
craziness.
Destroyer is like so overused, I still like to see it and stuff, especially here in TNA because Pete
Yeah,
Williams and those guys made it really special. But
yeah, I agree. I mean, and so, it's hard because you see it everywhere now, right? I mean, it's kind of a signature for Adam Cole, and we've seen other guys. Of course, we've seen, who am I thinking of? I know we've seen Bad Bunny use it. Logan Paul, I think he's used it before. So I mean, it used in this sense, I felt like it was still really good, and also used in TNA. I think is also feels a little bit different than used elsewhere for the simple fact of it almost feels like you're paying homage to Petey Williams, who kind of, made a name for himself in TNA. So, I'm glad that Saban retained. I was a little surprised too. I think I expected a majority of title changes also, but I don't think there's anything wrong with having one of the TNA originals bring in the new TNA with the X Division title. So I thought it was good.
Also, speaking of lucha things, so they also announced that there's going to be the partnership between AAA and TNA. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, did it ever end before? Like,
I,
because they've always had a bunch of partnerships with a bunch of different companies, whether it be from not new. Well, actually, they did have a deal with New Japan for a little bit, but they had the Pro Wrestling Noah, I think it was. They had the deal with for a little bit. They've had a deal with AAA before, I think, because of Conan. I think Conan helped out a lot of that because of his relationship with AAA. I don't know if he owns it per se, but I know he's got pretty big stock in it. But yeah, I mean, I was almost not taken aback, but I was, I think it's a good thing. For me, I was kind of sitting here thinking, did it ever end from the last deal they had with AAA? I think it's and I think also another reason why you make this announcement is to give Vikingo more credibility in this match, right? Like you come into this match, is Vikingo even signed to TNA? Like, what's going on? But if he comes from AAA and, there's a deal there, then obviously there's a reason for him to win, to have a chance to win this match. But I mean, we've seen TNA give, kind of like we said in the preview, we've seen TNA give titles to guys who weren't necessarily technically under contract. So,
Yeah.
Nothing surprises us. But well, I mean, do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting because like like you mentioned, did they ever quit having a deal or a partnership with AAA? Because I never, because I felt like they always brought in luchas into TNA and stuff. I thought they always kept having this deal, but I think it's interesting. And also, apparently, I heard that some of the wrestlers like aren't getting exactly paid in AAA, so maybe they're kind of bringing them more over to TNA. I guess, try to get some more talent.
My other question, my other hope is, I guess I should say, it's not a question, but my hope is that they have those, what was it was like not lucha style, but AAA does their like 6-man tags, I think, differently than American style 6-man tags, where like if you roll out of the ring, the other guy automatically
the other guy gets to come
legal.
in. Yeah.
I hope they bring that back. Like I like that a lot. I think that's cool. I think that should probably be a thing anyway.
Yeah, I think they do that also a little bit in Ring of Honor as well. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool to see implemented into some different matches. Yeah, I like that. But yeah, the next match we had here was Josh Alexander going up against Alex Hammerstone. What you think of this match?
I thought this was good. I feel like with Hammerstone, it's cool to see his kind of rise. I'm surprised he didn't win this match, just because Josh Alexander has kind of done everything you probably can do in Impact so far. But I will say, it was good. I think they gave Hammerstone a good showing. He has a good story to him. You feel, you want to cheer for him because of his grind, right? Because of what he's done. I think he was in TNA but got cut or something before too, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. I think he had a tryout or something to that nature. But to like see his grind, it makes you want to cheer for him even more. And I think this was kind of one of those like respect matches, respect for you type situations. And it'll be interesting to see how they use him coming up. I like him a lot. He reminds me a little bit of like Brian Cage. I don't know if he does all the craziness that Brian Cage does when it comes to moonsaults and superstar presses and all that, but because I'm not necessarily familiar with what he does with his game per se. It's the first match I've seen him, but I do feel like I had fun watching this match, but still surprised that Alexander won. So
yeah, Alex Hammerstone, he was definitely very interesting. Like he kind of seems like a kind of mix of like Brock Lesnar and like Ultimate Warrior a little bit. I don't know. I just get get the vibes of that. I like how jacked he is. Also, he's really athletic in the ring, like the stuff that he was doing. And like I said, I'm not really too familiar with him, but this was a really good kind of like showing to get him introduced to like the TNA fans. Josh Alexander, he was great in the ring. He did amazing stuff. I like the Death Valley driver on the apron from Alex Hammerstone. I thought that was nice. No, it wasn't a Death Valley driver. Yeah, it was. It was from Alex Hammerstone. And he also hit a pretty nice like world's strongest slam on the side of the apron as well. So there were some pretty nice power moves that he was doing. Also, he did really good selling to with the whole like ankle and like with the whole leg when Josh Alexander was working on that. And yeah, I mean Josh Alexander ended up getting the win by the C4 spike. I thought it was a good match, I kind of wish I had Josh Alexander doing something else on this show, to be honest. But I mean, it was okay. It was a good match, though. All right, and then the next match we had, oh, buddy, here we go. This is where shit hit the fan. we had was the TNA World Tag Team titles on the line in the Fatal Four Way. We had ABC defending the titles against the Rascals, the Grizzly Young Veterans, and we had Mike Bailey. And it wasn't Trent Seven because I think Trent Seven had some like travel issues going on. So they had who was it? He's the luchador.
Laredo Kid.
Laredo Kid, which he's been in Impact Wrestling TNA. He's been there for a little bit. But yeah, this was definitely an interesting match. I feel like this was like a more of a showcase for like the tag team division. Or like, I didn't feel like the titles were going to change hands after this. I feel like everybody shined in this match. Um, like the Grizzly Young Veterans, they looked really good. Um, Mike Bailey he hit a really nice ultimate weapon in this match. Um, to be honest, I kind of wish this match was like just between ABC and the Rascals, since they kind of have that backstory with them. They kind of got that heat with each other. But I mean, ABC ended up pinning the Rascals, so kind of maybe puts that feud to bed now. Kind of since they pinned the Rascals here. I thought that was nice. But yeah, I mean, this was your typical Fatal Four Way tag team match here in TNA. You had all the high spots. You had everybody coming in and their moves. A whole bunch of fuckery, as I would like to say. It's crazy action, total nonstop action. No pun intended, but yeah,
Every
DJ,
pun,
what was your thoughts on the match?
every pun intended. Yeah, I agree. I think. I mean, I probably would have rather seen just a normal tag team match, but I mean that
Yeah,
doesn't mean that this match wasn't good or anything like that. I think once again, this is one of those matches where it felt like everybody got their shine. It felt like everybody had a chance to win this match. You felt like even with the Grizzly Young Veterans, even though they haven't won title, they're making their TNA debut in this match, or at least their pay per view debut, and they are kind of the newcomers to TNA, and then you got Trent Seven and not Trent Seven, Mike Bailey and Laredo Kid. They're not, they're kind of thrown together because of the Trent Seven's travel issues. Like it still felt like, is there a chance here? I mean, I think Mike Bailey and Laredo Kid, you expect them not to win just because of the circumstances, but the other three, I think there was several chances where you're like, okay, this could, because do you want with the Grizzly Young Veterans? Do you want to go with the kind of new era type situation? Like it's a new era of TNA. You got a whole new, brand new tag team that's never won in TNA. You might as well go with it. But they are 4-time tag champions around the world. Or do you stick with kind of the mainstays of the tag team division? It felt like for the last little bit with between ABC and the Rascals. But I like that the decision was made between ABC and the Rascals. So then that way, kind of like you said, you kind of get some sort of resolution there, even if it's not over. You still, it's still like, hey, we pinned y'all. We didn't have to pin everybody else that was in the match. But I thought the match was good. I thought, there were plenty of cool high spots and everything. Like, there was good tandem offense and everything also. So I mean, I enjoyed it.
yeah, and it feels like to me, I don't know if you feel the same way, but it feels like on every single big four, like all these big pay per views, it seems like they always have a multi-man tag team match or like a Fatal Four Way triple threat tag team match. Does that seem like to you? Because I feel like
Yeah,
we had one at Bound for Glory.
yeah, I probably agree with that. They probably do, which is weird. I think it's a weird wrestling thing right now, right? Like it's one of those weird wrestling things that, like, for whatever reason, I guess, and maybe it's just the companies outside of WWE, but it just seems like they don't want to go with the normal match. They want to go with the Fatal Four Way tag team match, a triple threat tag team match, which is fine when it's fine when it's fine, but even for this match, like when you think about it, like kind of like you said, ABC and the Rascals got the backstory. Why are the other two teams, especially when you consider, and I know you want to get him on the card, and I understand that, but especially when you consider Trent Sevens, you consider his travel issues that changed Mike Bailey's partner. Why wouldn't you just narrow this down a little bit? Like that's what I don't understand. But
Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like just like a showcase here. It didn't seem like anything much here. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like I'm not a really good one to like analyze this and go like, oh yeah, these like, because there's just so much action that this goes on in these matches. Like you just lose focus on, everything that's going on. I'd rather just have a one-on-one, like a one-on-one tag. But yeah, we'll move on to the next match, which we had was the co-main event. Well, actually, before the main event match, we had a debut of Dana Brooke, and her new name is going to be Ash by Elegance. Yeah, they showed her
I
out
thought
by ringside. Kind of a thing that they do with like, because they showed the limousine or a car pull up earlier in the night, and they had this woman come out. And I think that's what they're talking about this big sign, because they said you don't know who's going to be showing up.
Mhm.
Worlds are going to be colliding, or maybe they were hitting that later on. I don't know, but yeah, they had this woman come out of the car, and my buddy Leo, he was so crazy because like, yes, dude, that's Dana Brooke right there. That's Dana Brooke before they even shown her face. But yeah, later on, they showed her in the crowd before this match between Trinity and Jordan Grace, and it was Dana Brooke, and her new name is Ash by Elegance. Like it sounds like her ass is elegant, or Ash by Elegance. What that does not have a ring to it.
To me, it sounds like, first of all, it doesn't make sense. Like,
Yeah.
why? But secondly, it sounds like a promotion, right? It sounds like that's why I probably didn't know who it was, because when you think of Ash by Elegance, you just think like, oh, this is some model promoting elegance, like the elegance brand or something, like a perfume brand or something. Like I like what? No, like no. I just like I said, I didn't understand it. I the name wise, I didn't even realize it was Dana Brooke. For whatever reason, I think she looks different. And maybe it's I've probably only seen her in ring gear. On her way to the ring doing her little flippy thing when she goes to the ring. Like that, I've only seen her in that sense. So maybe that's what it was. But I had no idea this was Dana Brooke until literally 2 minutes before the show when Justin told me. And I'm like, wait a minute, let me go look, because I did not see that. And I'm like, wait a minute, I saw that multiple times and I had no idea.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, the creative team back there, whoever made her name, they need to change her to her, because I can't remember what her actual name is. Maybe Ashley or something. I don't exactly remember. Maybe DJ could look that up. But yeah, Dana Brooke, yeah, her name needs to change. Like Ash by Elegance is just a terrible name here. But yeah, I just want to mention that a little bit.
Yeah, her name is Ashley Sabero.
So, Ashley Sabero. Yeah, why did they just use that? Like
why don't they do like? I mean, her middle name's May. Why don't they just do Ashley May? Like
Ashley May or something? I don't know. Like they need to do something. They need to switch that up, because terrible name. It's like some WWE like WWE naming.
Shorty G, like that.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, DJ, thoughts on this match here: Trinity and Jordan Grace.
I thought it was good. It's interesting also too to watch two women who are so athletic, but so athletic in completely different ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Trinity's so athletic because she used to be a dancer, like she's flexible, she's got all that. But Jordan Grace obviously is athletic because she's strong as anyone you've ever seen, right? Like and she, shout out to Jordan Grace for everything she's done in terms of getting herself to look this way, like bulking up, cutting, whatever she had to do. Because I think she had to do a little bit of both, to be honest, because she was growing her muscle, but she wasn't lean enough to show it when she first came to Impact at the time, but TNA now. And to see her now, like I'm always just impressed by the way she looks. And I personally don't feel like we have a lot of women who look like Jordan Grace nowadays, right? Who have that aesthetic. Everybody's a workhorse, everybody's this, everybody's that, whereas nobody's the strong, the strong woman per se, and that's what you are. Like, and I like it. I like it a lot. I'm glad that she won the title. I was a little surprised. Like, I think I came into this match not knowing which way it was going to go, right? Not knowing if Trinity was going to retain or not knowing if Jordan Grace was going to retain. But I mean, I don't know. There's part of me that wants to see a Jordan Grace heel run under this, under her new look, right? Like under her, like, I'm better than you type look, under her, like, I don't know, like, call people fat. I don't care. Like, I feel like we haven't seen that though. Like, right? Like, we haven't seen the bodybuilder like, you don't even look nearly as good as I do. Like, types like, use that to your advantage. Use the fact that she looks like nobody else probably in this world, in the wrestling business right now when it comes to being a woman. Use that to your advantage. And I think they could. And I don't know if they will, but I mean, I would love to see her turn heel. I kind of wish she would have after the match, because I mean, of course, which I don't know. I mean, I guess both of these, both from her faces, right? Like, because I mean, because Jordan Grace won the
call your shot gauntlet.
Yeah, call your shot, and then of course Trinity coming in from where she came in from. Obviously she came in from a popularity perspective anyway, so it will be interesting. Kind of like we said before, we said on the preview, if Trinity loses, it will be interesting to see what happens come January 27th, or I think it's 27th.
Yeah, so it's 27th. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, that will be interesting. It will be interesting to see if she pops up at the Royal Rumble. I would be, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was WWE, I don't care if she's under contract or not. I would call TNA and say, hey, bring her by anyway. Right? Bring her by anyway. Because, like, that's what people want to see. People want to see these surprises. People want to see people that are untouchable to different companies come to your company. Now, I know they're not going to call AEW and bring Dr. Britt Baker in, right? I get that. But like with TNA, they've had that relationship before, and I think they should utilize it more than they do. I think, I mean, I'm not saying
they should bring in Jordan Grace and bring her in, for everybody. Let's have the world champion.
I mean, bring them both. Bring them both and like carry their feud over a little bit to a certain degree, right? Like bring them both. I don't know. I just think it would be a good idea. Like, at least bring one. At least bring Trinity, because of course, I don't know. Do you call her Trinity? Right? Like maybe that's the disconnect too. Is like, you own the name Naomi. Do you call her Trinity when she comes over, or
or does she go back to the name Naomi? I don't know.
Does she go back to Naomi for one night only or whatever? I don't know. But I mean, I think they should do it. I think they should call her up now. I think, honestly, we talked about it before. I think they should push in any way to get either Trinity or Mercedes Moné at the Rumble, if not both, because people want to see it. People want to see it. People definitely don't expect to see them both. So why not? Why not?
So I wonder who the other signings are that's supposed to announce more signings coming in the coming weeks.
Oh yeah, shout out to Trent Hatchett.
Yeah, I'm wondering too. Like, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see what happens. Like, I don't like. I'm not a person who really likes to read into the spoilers that much, because because that's what there isn't much more in wrestling these days. Is like much surprise, because everybody, there's always someone spoiling something, or a wrestler announces something on social media. Like, this is a sidebar here, but I hate when the wrestlers announce, "Oh, I'm putting my hand in for the Royal Rumble match." Go like, why don't you keep that a surprise? That's what I miss about wrestling these days.
Well, and that's the thing. If we knew CM Punk was definitely coming back at Survivor Series, it would have been probably the top moment of the year.
Yeah.
Right. It would have been like, oh yeah, it's still cool, right? Like, and that was the other thing too. Like, even when CM Punk returned, like a couple years ago, like my hope was, hey, why don't you have him return, but don't tell anybody. Right? Like, nobody's expecting this. Like, I get it. Like, and that's the hard part, because it's like, that's the hard part, right? For that show, right? For whatever show it is, whatever show it may be, Rumble, whatever, right? You want the you want so many people to attend, right? You want so many people to attend. You want so many people to buy, and if they know Punk's going to be there, they're more likely to buy. But also, like, I think something that sometimes is missed in the money aspect of it, the initial money, because there's always going to be money to be made. But in the initial money aspect of it is, where are the surprises for the fans, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you could have easily told everybody that CM Punk was coming to Chicago on Survivor Series, but where is the I'm waiting on my edge of my seat for it to happen? Where is the as a fan, I'm buying the ticket in hopes that it happens? If it doesn't, cool. But if it does, oh, I already got my ticket anyway. Like, where is that now? You know,
Yeah, see,
and kind of
I was in that situation there at Survivor Series because like, you know, is he gonna show up? Is he not gonna show up? And then ends up showing up, and then the whole crowd goes crazy. Like, he shows
yeah,
up, and we're all
and that's the other
surprised.
thing too. Like with with the signings that Trent was talking about. Shout out to him. You know, with the signings he was talking about. Like I said, I don't know either. I've been kind of like browsing the. I've been kind of browsing the free agent wire type situation that's been going on. But I, you know, at the same time, I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know either. Like, I haven't looked at. I've been browsing the free agent wire, but I haven't been browsing the rumor mill, if that makes sense, right? Because
Yeah.
I don't want to know. I don't really want to know. I want to be surprised whenever it happens, and hopefully I see it in a show and not on social media. But I want to be surprised when it happens. But and also, Top Dollar showed up too. By the way, I don't
Yeah,
know
he
if you saw that.
he was performing on the
Yeah, you
countdown.
told me that. That's right. But he also he jumped in the ring, right? Like, or something.
Yeah, he did something with Joe Hendry. Like he got into it a little bit with him, so maybe they might have a little feud with Joe Hendry and Top Dollar or whatever his name is in TNA now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I want Enzo back. I don't care what y'all say. I want Enzo back. Okay. Like, give me my wish here. I want Enzo. Y'all done brought in Swaggle. Where is my boy at? Enzo. Come on.
Enzo More. Yeah, but Trinity and Jordan Grace, I thought it was a really good match. You know, I gotta give Jordan Grace her dues because there's times like you know I don't like her that much. I don't know if it's her physique about her. You know, she
Well,
just has too much of the
she
muscles.
comes off. The issue is, Justin, I'm gonna be honest. And maybe I should just give my concern, and maybe you feel the same way, right? For
Yeah,
me, my issue is Jordan Grace comes off generic, right? Jordan Grace
yeah,
comes off like the strong lady that just got out of the gym, but I don't know who she is, right? She's
yeah.
not talkative, she's not charismatic, and that doesn't mean she's not. That doesn't mean she literally is not. But the current character that she has does not allow her to showcase it. If she was a heel, I mean, she could burn everybody down, right? Like I think they need to turn her heel and let her show her personality a little bit, because she never really has. She's always been a face. She's always been the I work so hard, I'm here. Yeah, you know, look at me flex, right? That's been her whole time. So I mean, I
Hmm.
hope that they allow her to do something, you know, something else, like,
Yeah, I
other than
agree.
that. But
Yeah, but I gotta say this. I think this
Percy
was
Watson is still wrestling.
really, really, he's still wrestling. But yeah, Trinity. Yeah, I thought this was her best match here in TNA, and hopefully this isn't her last match here. But yeah, this was fine. Guess we'll see what happens. You know, she
Percy
ends up
Watson
going.
is only 42 years old.
That's crazy.
Like, what?
That's crazy to think about. Yeah, but yeah, this was a good match though. Not gonna lie. Like Jordan Grace becoming new Knockouts champion. You know, it kind of seems like Trinity, you know, after the match, you know, she was kind of, you know, saying her goodbyes and stuff. Like I said, she's going to be on some TV tapings here in Orlando, you know, in her hometown. So maybe, I don't know if she ends up signing back with WWE. I don't know. I feel like they should try to keep Trinity here because, you know, when a company is like really doing good, you expect them, you know, to be resigning and stuff. But we'll
But
see what
TNA's
happens
always had that problem though too. Like,
with keeping wrestlers. Yeah.
TNA has never, yeah, they've never been able to keep wrestlers. Like, it doesn't matter who it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't know if it's the money thing. I don't know if,
If it's
you know, the
ownership
grass
or,
is, you know, ownership. The grass is greener on the other side type situation. I don't know what it is.
yeah.
But like, even like Deonna Purrazzo, like her being in
Mm-hmm.
AEW, she's gonna get lost in the sauce, and I hate it because she's one of the best women's wrestlers probably in the world right now, and
Yeah.
she's gonna get lost in the sauce like every other women's wrestler on that roster.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So move on to the main event match of the night. We had was the TNA World Title on the line. Alex Shelley defending that title against Moose, a wrestling god. DJ, what were your thoughts on this match?
You know what? I'm gonna bring back something. If y'all been following the podcast for a long time, you gonna remember this. And if you didn't, if you haven't, I'm gonna bring you into some new game that I got. But all I'm gonna say is, and you're no. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. That's what I'm gonna say
Well, you gotta have the
because
title. You need to have the title with you.
I
Like, where's
know I
that
don't have the title with me today. They go, but you know, I'm excited because Moose is probably one. It has to be like probably like one of my top 5 favorite wrestlers right now, currently in the game. Right, when you take out all your favorites, but in terms of like currently right now, like he's one of my favorites. He's always been. I've always liked him, and I think he's just TNA has allowed him to grow and develop and become even more of a character, become even more of, show even more of himself, show even more of his personality. And, I love that they continue to reward him because way back when Lashley was there and we were all hoping for the Moose Lashley feud in 2018-ish or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
we were all hoping for that feud. And I think we got a sliver of it, but we didn't get nearly as much as we wanted. We didn't even know this Moose existed yet, right? And now I think Moose is just doing his thing. He really is. He's just doing his thing. And
He's doing his tiny thing.
I mean, Shelley looked good in this match. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discrediting Alex Shelley and what he did in this match too. He looked good in this match. His character development from just being the guy waiting to get the shot to pretty much turning heel during this whole thing has been excellent and been a breath of fresh air and been exactly what you needed. But to have, I think it's interesting because like this match was one of those matches you really felt like could go either way. Shelley's had the title for a long time. He's the 3rd longest reigning Impact World Champion in history, right? And I think the Impact World Champion falls in line with the TNA World Champion, right?
Yeah.
I think they all mesh together. But he's the 3rd longest reigning champion, and you got a TNA original bringing in the first ever return to TNA pay-per-view as the champion. For him to retain, obviously that makes a lot of sense. But then you got the guy who literally brought back the TNA World Title. I don't know if that was foreshadowing back then, because I think we discussed it on the show. Like we were like, are they bringing back TNA at some point? And it kind of fizzled out because it just never happened. But he literally brought back the TNA World Title. He brought back those 3 letters that mean so much to this company and to a lot of the fans. And for him to not only grow up in Impact Wrestling, it felt like, but at the same time bring back the TNA title and kind of really showcase that he kind of has been Mr. Impact Wrestling, right? Self-proclaimed or not, he kind of really has been Mr. Impact Wrestling, has been I just think has been awesome. And I'm excited to see what he's gonna do because I felt like all of his title runs have been really good and really exciting, and it'll be interesting to see who takes the title off of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I thought the match was really good here. I mean, the beginning of the match was kind of started out like really slow, but I mean, Alex Shelley, I really like his submission type of game he did here. This really broke down moves and stuff because this was definitely a Goliath versus David versus Goliath type of match here. And also I like you brought that point where Moose, even commentary brought it up. How Moose brought back that TNA World Title like back in I think it was like 2020 when the pandemic was going on. Like are they kind of foreshadowing something here? This is long-term storytelling right here. I mean, and they did bring the title out of retirement. They made it like an official title because Moose, he tried to get that made an official title or bring it out of retirement for the longest of time. And they did that for a little while. But then, like you said, it kind of fizzled out. It went nowhere.
Because you remember what happened? Was that when Kenny came in? Is that what I'm thinking?
Yeah, that's when Kenny Omega came in. Yes, yes, yes. Like, and then they
Because he
had the
held all of them because at the time it was like it
yeah,
was
he held
literally
that
two
one, and
belts.
yeah, he held both of those belts, and of course, the AEW title. And I think the AAA as well. But yeah, so yes, to see Moose win here, it's kind of like kind of the callback here, and I think it's pretty cool. And especially to have the heel win here, especially what happened after this match, which we could talk about what happened after this match here. So you had the whole faction coming out. What they're called, the System. Of Eddie Edwards, Alicia Edwards. Oh, who's that? D'Angelo. What's his name? He's a football player. He used to be a
D'Angelo
football
Williams.
player. D'Angelo Williams. He had him come out. You think the show's over, okay? Then you have this music come on, and it says on the Tron or the board, it says Nick Nemeth, aka Dolph Ziggler, comes in. He has a little stare down with Moose and stuff. Wait, did he did he beat up Moose or anything? Did he do anything to him? Did he give him a super kick? I thought he did something. Maybe I'm
Yeah, he
mistaken.
did. He gave him a super kick and then did the zigzag, which I don't know what they're gonna call it, but
Yeah. So he did all that, and then he went in the crowd. Ripped off his shirt. Says TNA wrestling on it. So it looks like that he is signed with TNA. Yeah, and I think he's going to finish up his stuff with David Finlay in New Japan. But what's your thoughts on Nick Nemeth or Dolph Ziggler coming into TNA, being
I,
signed with TNA?
I will say this. Speaking of Kenny Omega, real quick. So 3 years ago, at Hard to Kill 2021 was when he debuted in Impact for his little time that he was there. So interestingly enough,
Which
the irony of it,
that went nowhere for TNA. That went
yeah,
nowhere.
yeah,
Like
it
you
did,
thought, like, oh man, this is gonna be a great partnership between uh Impact Wrestling and AEW, but it did not benefit TNA at
yeah,
all.
but yeah, but I will say for the Nick Nemeth thing, uh, I. I'm so excited to see what he's gonna do um, in this whole situation because TNA tends to be the company where a lot of people want to say, I want to make the joke that TNA is the company where careers go to die. But TNA, for a lot of people, has been the company where careers get resurrected. TNA, for a lot of people, has been the company where guys are able to express themselves a little bit more, where guys end up being called back by WWE for for jobs or to get rehired. So who's watching who on that one? But anyway, I feel like for him, not to say that I mean, at some point he's going to go back to WWE. Like obviously, that's just tends to be how that goes. But it's going to give him an opportunity to be, for lack of a better term, the big fish in the small pond for once, right? Like he's always been overlooked. He's always been the guy who, for whatever reason, everybody overlooked. Everybody said like, I don't know, does this guy deserve it? Who is this guy? Type situation, even in the character development and all that. And then, he wins world titles, he wins intercontinental championships, he wins the NXT title, and you're still thinking like, but is he? But I don't know. So like I think this is an opportunity for him to just continue to show how great he is because and actually have the TV time to do it, right? Because I mean, the thing about Nick, Dolph, whatever you want, however you want to say it in this regard, is people want to see him, right? People want to see him. Like they always have. He's been one of those guys that people have always wanted to see. People, I feel like from an audience perspective, he has always been appreciated. Sometimes from a company perspective, he's not. And I think TNA is the perfect place for him to be respected and to showcase his skills still. Before I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if at some point he moves on to AEW, but at the same time, there's a part of me that wonders why he didn't go to AEW to begin with his name value already.
I just feel like he's going to get lost in the shuffle over there. He's just going
With
to get put
AEW,
on.
it'll just
Yeah,
be more the same.
yeah. He's just going to get lost in the. He's just going to get thrown on Rampage, thrown on Collision, which I mean, Collision's a cool show, but he's just going to get. They're gonna find, because there's just so much talent over there in AEW, which Tony Khan, he doesn't know how to book shows sometimes. I mean, he knows how to book some events and stuff, but like the undercard, he needs to get work at doing that better. or who get thrown in Ring of Honor, which Ring of Honor is a kind of a dead company right now. I mean, even though it is bought by Tony Khan, they don't have a TV deal. And I mean, the pay per views are good, but other than that, like Ring of Honor doesn't have much going for it. So I feel like he would just get lost in shuffle in AEW. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy he chose to come to TNA. Like I said, or like you said, he's a big fish in this small pond type of situation. Maybe he could win the world title over here. See if he's actually could be that big star over here. And also for the people who that kind of TNA haters, if you didn't like the Dixie Carter stuff back in the day, you didn't like the Vince Russo stuff, the TNA is not your cup of tea, if you don't like the Scott D'Amore type of stuff, this for those TNA haters out there, I guess that's not their cup of tea, seeing Nick Nemeth over here in TNA, but I think it's definitely gonna be interesting to see what he does.
No, it's been it's been a while since I've watched a weekly TNA show, but I guarantee you I'd probably enjoy a TNA weekly show more than I'll enjoy AEW, and more so specifically because specifically more than Rampage or Collision. Like Dynamite's okay, but I mean I've heard from personal friends of mine that AEW is taking a step back, right? Like, so
yeah, it really has, to be honest with you. It really has.
I mean, like I said before, I said in the preview, I'll say it again. I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. I just hope that I hope that somebody can put some money towards TNA because they deserve it. I get it. Wrestling is the world of the lack of a second chance, but I just hope that something starts to spin. That's all I'm saying. Just throwing it out there. But
I mean, I gotta say that's it. They're coming back, with it in a positive way. Like this is a good way to bring TNA back. So I gotta say that right now. But yeah, that was TNA Hard to Kill. DJ, you want to sign us off here? You want to tell all the people?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and sign us off. Be sure to if you're on the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast channel, be sure to go over there and check out good old Juggernaut 097 and his channel over there. And if you were over there on Mr. Juggernaut 097's channel, you can go over to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast and subscribe. We can just, just cross over. We dapping it up, dapping it up. You know what I mean? But anyway,
yeah, we dapping it up. Yeah.
We dapping.
I don't even know.
But
I got one more thing I want to plug before going on. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing a retro review of, since it's Royal Rumble season, I am going to be doing a retro review for Royal Rumble 1991. So stay tuned for that to drop.
Is that the first
one? No, 88 was the first one, but I already have 88 on my channel. But yeah, I'm talking about the good old stuff from Royal Rumble 1991. So definitely, like to watch those retro reviews. Definitely come check it out tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely be fun. Go hang out with good old McJuggernuggets over there, and y'all can watch this pay-per-view together. He'll probably fall asleep on you, but that's just from my experience.
Oh, okay? No, I already recorded the video. I already recorded it. I remember when we used to do those watch-alongs. I fall asleep. Don't watch something when you're laying down, especially wrestling.
Justin to be like, all right, what show you want to watch? And I'll be like, I want to watch. I'll be like, Justin, we didn't start the show yet. Come on, man.
Oh God.
But good times. But anyway, definitely hope you guys enjoyed the show. Remember, the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast is on all major podcasting platforms. So all your audios, take us with you. I'm just saying, like, we do stuff like this so you can take us with you, go to work, and listen to the show. So then that way you can be up to date on your wrestling knowledge. Okay, might even be more up to date than we are on your wrestling knowledge after these shows. But anyway, definitely hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll see you guys on the next episode of the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, and I mean always, and of course Justin means always, and instant.